So we're going to take our pick between Mickelson and Spieth for a few different questions. Lately, quite frankly, you never quite know what you're going to get from these two. But take your pick, Robert Dameron. Whose game is harder to predict before any given round, Jordan or Phil?
It's very, very, very difficult. They kind of really have similar games. They're both wilder than Red River Steer off the tee. They're both actually long. I would say Jordan is quietly long and Phil is loudly short. Does that make sense? He's not as long as his bombs and seeds say. He's very long, but Jordan, you think, oh, he doesn't hit it very long. He actually does. They both hit it all over the place. Both spotty iron games at times, great iron games at times, both absolute world-class short games. But I'm going on age. I think that you look at the fact that Jordan is 26 and Phil is 50. It's you have predictions for what a 50-year-old player is supposed to do. You're not supposed to be at 26 struggling that bad when you're as world-class a player as Jordan. So I'm going to say Jordan is less predictable.
Less predictable. Paige, do you agree?
I actually don't agree. I kind of see where you're going, though, with the age and at this point in their career where they should be predictability-wise. But I would just say week in and week out, I feel like we're going to know, we have no idea what we're going to get from Phil Mickelson. We have somewhat of an idea from Jordan Spieth. Even earlier this year when he was playing in Texas and we saw some glimmers of hope, that was predictable. With Phil Mickelson, he's had 5 missed cuts and a pair of third-place finishes. I mean, it's been all over the map. So I think his highs are higher, his lows are lower at this point. So for me, he's just a little more unpredictable.
Yeah, I agree we have no idea, but we have high hopes for Jordan. And the hope is different than, what he's actually doing. Because I too hope that he gets out and plays well. And I think under the microscope, I'm watching Jordan closer because Phil's already 44 wins. And if he never touches a club again, he's fulfilled his potential. Frankly, anything else is gravy. Jordan has not fulfilled his potential, not even close. So the microscope in that sense is closer on Jordan.
Phil has showed some good signs since returning his first start since 50. He was the 36-hole leader at the Travelers, played those opening 2 rounds in 13 under par, played the weekend in 2 over par. So, as you say, Paige, very unpredictable. All right, well, Lefty's last win was at the 2019 AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am, while Spieth is still searching for his first win since the 2017 Open. So take your pick, Paige. Who will get back in the winner's circle first, Jordan or Phil?
Phil. Again, I think it's the highs are higher and the lows are lower at this point. So Phil Mickelson, he's like a light switch. You just kind of never know when it's going to be his week, when he can flip the switch and play great golf. And we've seen so many of those little glimmers. And he can string a couple of rounds together, as he did, as you mentioned, at the Travelers, where he just had a poor weekend. But we were very hopeful after the first 2 rounds that we would see him back in the winner's circle. So just because he's kind of knocked on the door a little more than Jordan recently, maybe it's recency bias, I'll put Phil back in the winner's circle first.
Can you argue with that, Robert?
No, I think Phil has a little more of a purpose at this time because, well, for 2 reasons. He's post-50. There is history involved in winning post-50. He's going to get a bump. Expectations are kind of lower because of that age, so he's playing, a little more freely. And then secondly, we do have a U.S. Open at Winged Foot, so that's frankly those 2 things are probably the only motivations he has left in this game is to win post-50, and then that the revenge at the U.S. Open at Winged Foot would be the sweetest thing in history. So I think those things are keeping him going, maybe keeping him a little more sharp.
And it may sound silly, but I almost feel like Phil has less scar tissue, or at least he can get over the scar tissue quicker.
Yeah.
But he didn't struggle at such a young age. His struggles didn't start till late 40s.
And Phil has got that ability to bounce back. We've seen it time and time again. But 2 of the most captivating players in the game teeing it up a little bit later this afternoon out there at Muirfield Village alongside Patrick Cantlay.